Yes lads, and welcome back to the channel for another video, and in today's one it is a very good one. It is reacting to my early League 2 predictions. Now I'm not going to lie, this is the first year of actually doing YouTube and predicting a league table, so it's not going to be that good, and hopefully when I do predict whatever league you put her in, whether we're in League 1 or League 2, when I do try and come to predict the league table, hopefully I do a lot better than what I've done this season. No spoilers, but it's not amazing. And I'm not very good at predicting stuff, but, hopefully, you don't get offended if your team has been put very, very low. So if your team is low in the table what I predicted, I'm sorry. But yeah, please make sure to smash a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, of course. We are on the road to 1.1k, so if we can get that by the end of the season, it will be much appreciated, guys. And let's just get into it. There's going to be some very good ones and some awful ones in here. But yeah, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And let's start off with the two teams that I thought were going to get relegated. So the first team that I thought was going to get relegated and finish bottom of League 2 was Harrogate Town. I predicted Harrogate Town to finish in 24th. And instead they actually finished 7 places higher than my prediction in 17th. Now I didn't think Harrogate were going to do that well, obviously coming up from the National League via the playoffs at Wembley, and I really didn't think they were going to stay up. I thought between them and Barrow, the team that were most likely going to go down was going to be Harrogate. And yeah, so I really did get that one wrong. They played some really nice football. Muldoon was a big part of them staying up, I think, and why they nearly finished in the top half. 5 places off a top half finish for a newly promoted team. First ever season in Football League, at this level, and they've done really well, so fair play to Harrogate. I definitely got that one wrong. Harrogate did finish in second. Team that I said would go down would be Stevenage. Now, Stevenage did finish in 14th, but I did predict them to finish in 23rd and to get relegated, so I got that one 9 places wrong. So, out of the 2 teams so far that we've done, 7 and 9 places out is not the best at all. That's nearly half the league out from where I predicted them to finish. But Stevenage, they got a point against us. I believe, I can't remember our result away from home, but I know they did draw 0-0 at Rodney Parade. And they did play some decent football. They got all the way to the 3rd round of the FA Cup as well, losing to Swansea. So they weren't that bad this season, but I mean, the basis on me predicting them to finish 23rd was probably down to last season, where they probably should have gone down if it weren't for Macclesfield. Rest in peace, Macclesfield, of course. But yeah, so I put Stevenage to finish in 23rd, when in fact they finished in 14th. Sorry, not 19th. They finished in 14th, 9 places from where I. Right, in 22nd, I said that Morecambe would finish in 22nd. I thought that they were going to be one of those teams that, were flirting relegation, possibly in the relegation zone at certain parts of the season, and just avoided it by the odd few points. How bloody wrong was I with Morecambe? Morecambe indeed finished 4th, and 18 places from where I said. So that is the stinker, guys. That is the absolute stinker. I predicted Morecambe to finish in 22nd, and they've actually finished in 4th. That is probably the one. There's a few in there that you could say are the one that I've really got wrong, but Morecambe, I'm sorry if you're a Morecambe fan. I did predict you to finish 22nd. You did finish 4th. Congratulations on that. Hopefully, we see you in the playoffs. But yeah, sorry to any Morecambe fans, but I said Morecambe would finish 22nd, then they finished in 21st. I said Southend United, and to be fair, I'm quite happy with this one. I did say Southend would finish in 21st, and actually they finished in 23rd. So only 2 places wrong with this one. I did say they could go down in my predictions. So I was really quite happy with this when I said they could go down, but they might just stay up, and that's pretty much what happened. Phil Brown nearly kept them up, but unfortunately for them, they do go down into the National League. But yeah, that is one that I'm quite happy with. It wasn't the best, it wasn't the worst, sorry. And it was, 2 places away from being correct. Southend will be playing National League football next season. And yeah, so let's continue on with the teams finishing inside the bottom half from 20th to 13th. Let's just whiz through 20th place, I put Barrow. And now, again, another one that I'm really happy with. Barrow did finish 21st in League 2. So like I said in my predictions, Barrow did stay up. And hopefully for them, I think I said this in the predictions as well, I said for them, hopefully they do go on next season to stay up again and establish themselves as a League 2 team again. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. I predicted Barrow to finish in 20th, and they did finish in 21st. So I'm really happy with that one. Let's have a look at this. Is another stinker, guys. So in 19th position, I predicted Cambridge United, and as we know, Cambridge United did finish second. So I was 17 places out with this one, and this one's a real shocker for me, along with the Morecambe one. I just didn't think Cambridge were going to do that well. Wes Houlihan impressed me. Paul Mullin, impressed me as well. Kyle Noyle at right back. And they had a decent team, Cambridge. I didn't think their squad was going to be good enough to get promoted or even get into the top half, but they proved me wrong, and fair play to them. Congratulations and good luck into League 1, any Cambridge United fans. But yeah, I said Cambridge to finish 19th, and they finished 18th position. I predicted Leyton Orient. I predicted Orient to finish in 18th. They didn't really sign well at the time of recording, but in fact they made some decent signings. They brought in Tristan Abrahams on loan from us halfway through the season, which was good for them. He scored. I think he scored quite a few goals for them. I'm not too sure, but the team they had is quite decent. And to be fair, I am wrong again with Leyton Orient. I did say they would finish in 18th, and they did finish 7 places above my prediction in 11th, into the top half. Joby McAnuff as well was a big role to why Leyton Orient burst at the table, and I really didn't expect them to finish inside the top half, and fair play to them. Good luck for next season, Leyton Orient fans. You definitely deserve success. That's from a whole different situation, which Leyton Orient and Newport fans will understand where I'm coming from that. Yeah. But yeah, I was 7 places out with Leyton Orient, so they finished in 11th. I put them in 8th. Well, I got this one completely wrong. In 17th place, I predicted Newport County, my team. And there was loads of reasons for this. Jamil Matt left. It looked like at one point we weren't going to sign Scott Bennett on, re-extend his contract. I thought Sheehan might have left halfway through the season, etc., etc. And at the time we didn't have Brandon Cooper, Scott Twine, and I didn't think Abrahams was going to score the goals that he did at the first, sort of 3-4 months of the season. And I really thought we were going to struggle. I thought it was, we'd be lucky to get mid-table, and indeed I was quite wrong with that. I was 12 places out. We did indeed finish 5th, and we will play in the playoffs. But yeah, I don't know about Newport. It was a weird prediction. I generally thought we would struggle. A lot of people did think we would struggle, and we've got ourselves a playoff place, which is absolutely mental. But yeah, another prediction that I was absolutely miles out with. It's quite the theme of this video, miles out with predictions. But yeah, I put Newport to finish in 17th, and indeed we finished in 5th. From 16th to 13th, we are going to whiz through these to get into the top half. So in 16th place, I did predict Port Vale, and they did indeed finish in 13th place. So I was 3 predictions out with this, not a million miles away. They did play some decent football this season, Port Vale. And yeah, I did predict them to not finish inside the top half, and they didn't finish inside the top half. So essentially, I was right with that. Some of them I predicted them to finish in some sort of area, like whether I predicted them to struggle. Whether I predicted them to not make the top half, and playoffs, etc. So I could say that one is a kind of win, because I did predict Port Vale not to make the top half, and they didn't. So yeah, let's have a look at 15th. 15th place is Crawley. I predict them to finish in 15th, like I said, and they actually finished 3 places better in 12th. And unlike Port Vale, I did predict Crawley to not make the top half, and they did, or they made mid-table, I should say. So technically, they didn't make the top half, but again, not a million miles away with that one. There's a couple of positions, like I keep saying, that 2-3 places out, which you can kind of see as a win. The ones that are like 8, 9, and even 10 and more places out, they're the worrying ones, which hopefully we can improve from next season. But yeah, I predicted Crawley to finish in 15th, and they did finish in 12th. So a decent prediction. 14th place, I put Walsall. Now I put Walsall to sort of, just outside the top half, but indeed they finished 5 places lower in 19th. I didn't think they were going to struggle as bad as they did, but they did struggle quite a bit, Walsall. I mean, they weren't in any sort of relegation scrap, I don't believe, at any part of the season. And they did play quite well. They played some quite nice football. And there's a decent team there in Walsall, and I think next season, if with the right investment in the right areas, they could, push onto the top half and maybe even a playoff push. But yeah, 5 places out with Walsall. Again, it's not a million miles away, but I wasn't, within the 2-3 that I've been with a few of the teams. But yeah, I put Walsall to finish in 14th, and actually they finished in 13th place. I predicted Scunthorpe United. Now this is quite a massive loss for me. They did actually finish 9 places lower in 22nd in the league, which is an awful prediction for me. I said they were going to be, not trouble in the playoff places, and they'll be clear of relegation. And indeed, they weren't. They were close to going down, and we battered them 4-0 late on in the season. And that game, they just looked poor, and they looked poor all season, Scunthorpe. And I'm surprised they stayed up. I think it was just how bad the 2 relegated teams were, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's a massive loss for me. 9 places out with that one. I did put them to nearly get to the top half, but miss out. And indeed, they struggled heavily this season. Let's see who I made to make mid-table and then go into the top. 12th place and mid-table, I put Oldham Athletic. Now, I was 6 places with this one. 6 places down with this one, sorry. Oldham did finish in 18th position. I don't know what I was thinking with this one. They didn't invest that well. I just thought they were going to be a bang average team this season, where they probably have some good results, some bad results, and it just equals it out to having a just average season. But they did do the double over us, which is embarrassing really, considering where we finished this season in the playoffs. But they've done the double over us. They've got some other decent results, but I was 6 places out with this one. This is probably, in between awful and decent. 6 places out. So in League 2, it's so hard to predict. So, it's not that bad. I'm not going to beat myself up about that one. But let's have a look who made the top half in my predictions compared. I'm really happy with this one. I'm not going to lie to you. I really am happy with this one. In 10th place, I put... in 11th place, I put Carlisle United, but they did finish in 10th. That is a very, very good prediction for me there, to only get 1 place away from where it was. And yeah, it's so hard to predict League 2 in the middle of the table, especially because it's so tight. And yeah, to get 1 place away with that one, I'm really happy. Carlisle, were top of the league at one point and looked like they were going to get automatic promotion. They didn't, unfortunately. It's just mid-table, high mid-table for them. Or high top half, I should say. And I think they will improve next season. And there's some decent players there. Callum Guy, what a player he's been for them this season. And there's a lot of really good players in that Carlisle team. And I think if they improve in the right areas, the same with a lot of teams, if they improve in the right areas, they could, push for the playoffs, even get promotion next season. You don't know. Obviously, with the teams coming down as well, they're going to have... they're going to want to strengthen, but I'm really happy with that prediction. Only 1 away with Carlisle. Now, this is probably the worst one. I can't believe I thought this was going to happen. But in 10th place, I predicted Grimsby Town, and they actually finished in 24th place, rock bottom of League 2. 14 places out with this one, and I just, looking back at it, it's just awful for me to say that they were going to finish 10th. So yeah, 14 places away. Grimsby by far the worst team in the league for me, just behind Southend. But I think both of those have been woeful this season. They picked up some decent results, though. Let's not get it wrong. They picked up some decent results, Grimsby, along the way. It's just not good enough to stay in the league. And considering I predicted them to finish 10th, 14 places away I was with this one. This is probably the most embarrassing one. I know. I've got some, worse, like I put Morecambe to finish in the bottom half, put Cambridge there, Newport there. The fact that I put a team to finish 10th and they finished rock bottom and relegated, I think that's even worse for me. But yeah, let's go into the teams chasing the playoffs, and then we'll go into the playoffs. So in 9th place, I did predict Tranmere Rovers, obviously 2 seasons ago prior to this season. They did get to the playoff final and beat my boys, Newport County. Obviously, they were in League One and then they came down. So I thought, they're going to be up there. They're a well-established team at League Two and League One level. They're going to be in and around. I just didn't think they were going to make the playoffs. I did predict them to finish ninth, like I said, and they finished 2 places higher and snuck into the promotion places or into the playoff places, and finished 7th. So again, is another one that I'm happy with because I didn't say they weren't going to be up there. I did say they were going to be up there. I just said they were going to miss out, unfortunately. But yeah, 2 places away is not that bad. And if you look at the points between 9th and 7th in the league table, I'm not a million miles away from there. So I'm taking that as a decent prediction. In 8th place, the last team to miss out on the playoffs in my predictions was Cheltenham Town. They did get to the playoffs last season, losing to Northampton over 2 legs. And I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs again. I did say this in the predictions. I said I don't think they have the consistency. I don't think they have the squad to go for another playoff season or even promotion. And I was very wrong with this. 7 places out. They did, of course, win League 2. So congratulations to Cheltenham Town. Good luck in League 1. But, they've had some really good results. Obviously, they did play Man City in the FA Cup as well and took the lead against them earlier on in the season. They've got some decent players there, likes of Boyle, the likes of Chris Hussey, Ben Tozer, former Newport player, the goalkeeper Griffiths, Duff, as their manager. They've got a really good setup there at Cheltenham, and I was very wrong with this one. 7 places out. I predicted 8th. They did finish top. Let's get on to the playoffs then, and the team that I thought was just going to make the playoffs ahead of Cheltenham was Colchester United. I predicted them to finish in 7th. However, they did drop massively and finished in 20th. I was 13 places out with this one. The teams that I've got in and around the playoffs, I've really messed up with this one, to be fair. Colchester, like I said, in my predictions, they're a decent team. They got to the playoffs again last season, losing to Exeter in the semi-finals. And I thought they were going to have a decent run again. I didn't think it was going to be comfortable, easily getting into the playoffs, but I thought they were going to fight for it and on the last day or something get into the playoffs. But I was massively wrong with this one. I thought with the squad they have, I thought they were going to do a lot better, and unfortunately for them, it just didn't work out. And hopefully, not hopefully, but hopefully for them, they rebuild and they go again next season, because that's a terrible finish for a team that reached the playoffs the season before. And in 6th place, I finally got one right. I predicted Forest Green Rovers to finish in 6th place, and Forest Green Rovers finished in 6th place, which is brilliant for me. The first prediction correct. I've got a few 1 or 2 places or 3 places around, but this one I predicted dead on. I said Forest Green would finish in 6th. And spoiler, guys, I did actually say Forest Green would win the playoffs. So hopefully that doesn't happen, because we all know who Forest Green got in the semi-finals. But, if I was to predict that right, ask me for the lottery numbers, but hopefully I predict that wrong, and hopefully Newport gets to the final. But yeah, they've got so many decent players. They've got the likes of Jamil Matt, Aaron Collins. I know Matt is injured at the moment. I believe he's still injured. The squad there is really decent, and they're a force this season. They've been in and around the top 3, and they've sometimes dropped out of the playoffs, and I really was worried at my predictions, looking at them like, come on Forest Green, get into the playoffs for my prediction's sake. And they did. On the last day, by beating Oldham, 3-0 away from home, secured their playoff place. So yeah, I got that one dead on. 5th place, I predicted Exeter City to make the playoffs. I said, they consistently keep getting to the playoffs. They have a good record in League 2 of getting to the playoffs. And I said they were going to get there again. I didn't think they were going to, get through the playoffs, but I did say they was going to make the playoffs. And they didn't do just that. I was going to say they'd done just that, but they didn't. They placed 4 places lower, in 9th. So they did miss out on the playoffs on the final day after a 1-1 draw against Barrow. Exeter City, I predict them to finish inside the playoffs, and they finished 4 places lower in 9th. I'm a bit annoyed with that one. Yes, it's only 4 places, but I said they will finish inside the playoffs, and they didn't. So that's what I was talking about earlier, about areas, about teams finishing certain areas that I said they were going to finish. I said they will finish inside the playoffs, and they didn't. So I am going to take a loss on that one. Exeter finished in 9th. I predicted in 4th place, the team that just couldn't quite make the automatic promotion places. I predicted Bradford City. And again, another one that I'm really wrong on looking back. I predicted they'd finish in 4th, and they finished 11 places lower than that in 15th. So they didn't even finish inside the top half. That is a massive L again for me. They're a good side, Bradford, historical side, too big for this league in terms of history, but they just weren't that good this season. When you don't strengthen as much as you need to in this league, like Bolton done, Forest Green have done recent times, they need to invest more, Bradford. I think if they do that, they'll be a definite favourite to go up next season. But yeah, 11 places out in 15th is what Bradford City finished, and I'm really annoyed with that prediction. That's an annoying one, but hopefully I get it right next season. Well, if Newport don't go up, because if they do go up, I won't be doing League 2 predictions. You can forget about that. But Bradford City finished in 15th. The first team that I said was going to get automatically promoted in 3rd place I picked was Mansfield Town. Now this is another embarrassing one for me. Mansfield actually finished 13 places lower than what I predicted in 16th. And for me, Mansfield are one of those teams that probably the biggest wage budget or the biggest budget in the league, and they just didn't use that to their full advantage. They did finish in the bottom half of the table, which is embarrassing for Mansfield. I believe with Clough, they've got a decent dynasty there to build, and I think they could come back stronger. But yeah, I've got to take a massive L on that. I said Mansfield would finish in 3rd. They finished in 16th. In 2nd place, I predicted Salford City. Now, to be fair, I did say they would be right up there in the top 2 and by far and away one of the best teams in the league. I did say that. I said they were probably gonna be very, very close to winning the league. And again, it's another one that I am going to take a loss on. They did still finish in 8th, 6 places. They did finish in 8th, 6 places lower than what I said. But I did say they were going to not just get into the playoffs, but actually get automatically promoted. And the fact that they didn't even get into the playoffs is why I have to say that, unfortunately, I do take another loss on that, and Salford finish in 8th when I predicted 2nd. And the team that I predicted that was going to win League 2 this season was Bolton Wanderers. I predicted the Wanderers to win the league with the squad they had, the likes of Sarkovic, Doyle, and even when they strengthened in January with the likes of Declan John, they had Almeida Santos at the back, who's absolutely incredible. And I thought that Bolton would have won the league. However, they did finish 2 places lower in 3rd. I'm not going to take a loss on this one. Yes, I did say they were going to win the league, and they didn't. But I also said they will definitely get automatically promoted, and they did so in 3rd place. It was quite nervy at the end, but in the large scheme of it, they did, probably deserve their place in the top 3, even though Newport done the double over them, but we won't talk about that. But yeah, so I said Bolton Wanderers would finish top of the league, but they did still get promoted. There we are, guys. Those are reacting to my predictions that I did make at the start of the League 2 season. There's some absolute blinders in there, and there's some decent shouts in there. The Forest Green one, I'm going to keep going on about that. I predicted Forest Green to finish 6th, and they did. That is going to be forever remembered in me now, as Forest Green, the first ever team that I predicted correctly in the League 2 predictions on YouTube. If you have enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And let me know your comments of where you predicted certain teams to finish and where they finished. Let me know where I predicted your team to finish. Did I predict your team to go down? Did I predict your team to go up? Did I predict your team in mid-table? Stuff like that. And I have actually got a little bit of a note here. So the top 5 failed predictions, in my opinion, are Mansfield, considering I predicted them to finish 3rd, and they finished 16th. Predicted Colchester United to finish in 7th, and they finished 20th, 13 places lower than what I said. Grimsby I predicted to finish 10th, and they actually finished bottom of the league. That is my probably lowest one for me. Cambridge I did predict to finish 19th, and they did finish 2nd and got automatically promoted. I was 17 places out there. And then the worst one for me is Morecambe. I predicted Morecambe to survive just literally by a few points, and they did actually finish 4th. They were one of the closest teams to getting automatically promoted, so I was massively wrong there. But like I said, if you do enjoy the video, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn the notification bell on. We are on the road to 1.1k. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Probably for my championship. Probably for my League 2 team of the season. Cheerio for now. Always up the county.